I've seen a lot of videos getting recommended to me lately about Final Fantasy 14 and classes and job identity. I'm not sure why everyone is talking about this now. I'm guessing 8.0 isn't until at least like fucking a year from now or something. But I guess Yoshi PS said something about it, so I'm guessing that's why. So why not throw my 2 cents in there as well? Alright, can I get like an IOU on that? I was going to, a little bit behind the scenes. I was going to like grab my wallet, open it. Mike didn't pick that up. And then I realized that my wallet is empty. That's what I get for not checking things first. So a lot of people, as I said, have been making videos on this, and I have some opinions. Even though I don't really play this game anymore. Lately, my time in 14 has been like... Well, I still have opinions. At least now I can supply my own background. Pardon the rust, haven't played a combat class in like 6 months. As I unsubbed and only recently came back and was like, well, Square don't want me playing the game anyways, why bother? And just in case I say something you disagree with, don't worry. Square don't give a hoot what I think. They've proven this time and time again. I need some big streamer to agree with me. Then it might happen. Let me just start off with explaining why I think things like specs and talent trees is a bad idea. Yes, multiple people have brought that up. Someone mentioned DPS Dark Knight. I played World of Warcraft from vanilla to I think it was Warlords. More or less checked out, and I think I played through the initial story of War Within. And talent trees are bad, in my opinion, due to 2 things. At least that I can think of off the top of my head right now. Everyone that played a class that could tank and heal were never tanks or healers. Hey Pally, you wanna tank? No, I'm DPS. Gets butthurt and leaves the party. Hey Priest, could you? Pops Shadow Form, or whatever it's called. I never played Priest. Oh, never mind then. Warrior, mind. Dual wielding 2-handers, gotcha. Druid, could you get out of owl form and be useful? No? Dang it. It will just result in people rolling classes that can tank and heal. And everyone just refuses to be anything but DPS. This is one of the things I like about 14. You're a paladin, you're a bloody tank. Simple as that. 2, I feel it's kinda pointless. We have games with these massive skill trees like, say, Path of Exile. Just like an absolute spider web of options.
And what the? Evasion, attack damage. Oh my god, it's a spider web. It's a spider web. Skill tree is all bark, no bite. Don't worry about it. Ah, thank you. Thanks, game. Wow. It's a lot of gaming. Attack, evasion. Where does it lead to? Where does this? Wow. Wow. This is, wow. Oh my god, there's a star.
But what happens every single flipping time? Off to icy veins or whatever kids use these days, cause some lump on the internet has found out the best talents. And everyone has to use those options. No one gives a flying tit about your playstyle. This one line of talents is 0.0000002% better than the other options. Use that, or be ostracized, told to unsub, and go slide in the sewers. Everyone has to roll the same talents anyways. Every warrior will be exactly the same. Every summoner will be exactly the same. Every dragoon will be dead on the floor because they misjudged the distance and elusive jumped off the arena. We may as well just have the same loadout from start. Because it is just two ways to travel down the same road. For dragoons, that's usually on the face, so I guess technically there's a third way. So no, I don't really see any point in them spending dev time on that. Now, what would I like to see? Look, when it comes to identity, I'm not very experienced. I was born a male, I identify as a straight male. There wasn't really a whole lot to figure out for me. But I do have some wishes, if I may. Now, I do play every class in this game to some degree, apart from Blue Mage, because it's stupid and a lie. It was sold as a side gig and a very soloable thing, yet you need stuff for freaking savage raids, so I don't play that. But there are some classes that I play more than others, and I do have some wishes for some of them. Like me, let's start with Paladin. That's where I started as a gladiator back in late 2.0, early 2.1-ish. You know, back when Paladin was just a shit warrior. You're the defensive tank. Yeah, well, what does that matter when everyone's generating more threat than I am? Like, if the black mage was gear synced and you had exactly what you needed to do the dungeon, and they weren't using quelling strikes, you were not holding aggro as a paladin. It got so bad that in A Realm Reborn, I just quickly rush leveled warrior. I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was so much easier to hold aggro. Primarily because of fucking flash. If it was OGCD and you could weave, maybe. But it wasn't, so it was stupid. And it did no damage. And I don't mean that as in it did so little damage, it might as well not count. No, I'm saying it quite literally didn't have a damage potency to it. There's a reason why Overpower still exists, and Flash was replaced by Total Eclipse in Stormblood. Only ARR NPCs use it now, maybe some Heavensward NPCs, I don't know. I like Paladin. Sword and Board, sucker for that. Also these days they seem to have taken like the off-tank position, or like the support tank. Just kind of weird because they're the only tank with a shield and the ability to block damage. But their kit is very support oriented. I like that. But off the top of my head, there are two things I would change. And please be aware, I'm very casual. 1. Give clemency a reason to exist. If you don't know, Clemency is basically this big honking heal that if we use on, say, a party member, it also heals the paladin for like a certain percentage of the heal or something. Right now, in my experience, it's rarely used, as it just kind of screws us over. It's expensive, it takes too long to cast, like time better spent on doing other things. The only use I can see if both healers have to hard rest people and the main tag starts getting a little bit low on the HP department and this kind of scary looking thing starts swerving over their heads. You know, the red thing. But even then, it's like the tank is that low. Just fucking provoke and hope that the main tank isn't an idiot. Other than that, I don't know. Add panic healing while solo? I guess, but with so much self-healing that you have, like, if you need to resort to clemency, you're not using your defensives properly. So please give that a proper purpose to exist. 2. Take cover. Back off Oath Gauge. I'm pretty sure we've had it since A Realm Reborn. Pretty sure we got gauges in Heavensward. It wasn't there then. It was just kinda shoehorned in there in Shadowbringers. Yes, we may only use Oath Gauge for 2 things, but it's 2 things that we use actively. It wasn't there in the beginning. Shouldn't be there now. Take it off. Red Mage. So I guess Red Mage is more or less my main these days. I like it. Like how it plays. I'm horrified that their plans for... You know, if they're planning on doing major changes to classes in 8.0, that they're gonna fuck it up somehow. The thing about Red Mage, your job is pretty simple. At least as I said, as a casual in European Duty Finder, where everything is extreme. Your job is basically to do as much damage as possible, but prioritize staying alive so you can rest people who drop ASAP. Simple in concept, but as I said, EU Duty Finder, people drop a lot. And when healers in EU Duty Finder sees a red mage, they seem to forget that they also can rest. And that causes things like your MP bar needing to see a shrink after every run to help it deal with the trauma that often comes after abuse. And you know, me hating life after having someone I rest 18 times that pull shout at me for not helping resting. And I'm the only one that has rest that pull. And if that's not bad enough, dying is really punishing for a red mage once you do drop. As first, you're not likely to get rest. And if you do, you start with barely any MP. So doing your job is hard. God forbid you die to a bullshit memory mechanic right after popping lucid dreaming. You are essentially useless for the next like 3-ish minutes. So I would like to request that rather than once again giving us another button tacked onto the end of our burst combo, melee burst combo, I would like some alternative way to regen MP. Cause lucid dreaming ain't cutting it. I would personally like a button, kinda similar to, I think it was called Invigorate, back when we had TP. We had a button, I think melee DPS, had it to restore like 400 TP. 500 with the pugilist trait, I don't remember. But like something like that. Effectively an oh shit button. What was that? Balanced. Not my job to figure out. Thank fuck. But if it recovers like half our max MP and it's on like a 6 to 8 minute cooldown. Like if you are at like 0 MP, half your MP bar is like a Jolt Verace, Swift Cast Verace, and you're done. Quick and most likely horribly wrong math. But I feel my point is there. It doesn't really do all that much for you, but it would help. You would be able to get back into the action faster, and you know, when you're surrounded by, you know, people who just stand in AoEs, you know, it would take some of the stress away. I'm not sure how much MP you rest with, but it ain't enough. And lucid dreaming just isn't good enough either. Physical DPS can just kind of get back into it. Yes, there's a debuff, but Red Mage also has to deal with that debuff on top of that shit, because we don't have infrared resources like the physical attackers do. We can't just go. Even Black Mage can just go into ice for as long as I can run, and you're back at 100% MP and you could just go. Hook a brother up square. So, Machinist. I'm sure Machinist works just fine. Innate player content. But I feel that the class plays like absolute garbage in 4-player content. I enjoy Machinist until there's like 3 or more targets. I'm telling you, I don't remember what it's called these days. It used to be called Heat Blast. Does not feel good to use when there's like a lot of enemies. I just don't like using single target attacks when there's more than one enemy. I can tolerate 2, but any more than that feels bad. And why is that a problem? Well, you see, you have another button that works just like whatchamacallit. It just doesn't do the cooldown thing. Square, auto crossbow is right there. At least make it an option. Square, I have a sneaking feeling, and feel free to call me paranoid. Apparently I am. I have a feeling that Machinist is made by 2 different people, and they don't fucking communicate. In fact, I don't think they know that the other person even exists. One of them is like, huh, a class with pretty much no AoEs. That's weird. And there's another person at the other side of the Square Enix office that's like, huh, a class that is pure AoE. That's weird. Like, just introduce them to each other.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
So that we can get a class that feels less disjointed. Now, I don't play this class a lot, but it's the ranged physical that I enjoy the most. Never like I don't like the new bard, and I'm saying new. I think it's been like this. It's like fucking Stormblood, more or less. I'm sure it's better than A Realm Reborn's bard, but I play that for the support aspect. You zone into a dungeon, you look at the party, you spot the Black Mage, you exchange glances, maybe a little wink, maybe blow a kiss. You pop Foe Requiem and just watch the Black Mage annihilate everything. You know, Black Mage buys you lunch afterwards. Unless it's a Lalafell Black Mage from Lich. From the looks of things, they're all assholes. And I don't like the RNG procs on the Dancer. They do not have the DPS to make up for it. It sucks. It's an RNG that can result in another RNG that can result in another RNG. Like, it would just be nice if we had one physical range that I don't hate. I mean, there's hopes for 8.0. It would be weird if we didn't get another physical range, so we have at least 4 jobs per role. But I don't know. I don't know what they're cooking up over there in Japan. Could be a tank with a, I don't know, body pillow. I don't know. I feel that the Japanese might have been alone on that island for a little bit too long. So there's a lot of weird stuff coming out of Japan, is basically what I'm saying. I'm not being racist or anything. A lot of weird stuff is coming from over there, and I don't know. Anything else? Is there anything else that I have opinions on? I don't know. Stop with the fucking memory bullshit. But that's not a... That's the game, not a job. I don't know, I don't think so. I do think the Square needs to do something. It is a bit what's the word people keep using? Homogenized? I think I hear people throw that word around a lot, and I think it means something like that. But I do fear that it will cause metas. Yes, metas will happen no matter what. There's always a meta, unless every job is exactly the same. But I don't know, man. I feel that most statics I followed back in the Realm Reborn rolled with the same setup. White Mage Scholar, which was fine. We're the only healers we had back then. Dual Warriors. You know, the one that isn't tanking at the time, just focused on keeping slashing resistance debuff up. Dragoon for their DPS and piercing resistance debuff. Bard to take advantage of the piercing resistance debuff, and obviously the Dragoon as well. Summoner and Black Mage to take advantage of the Bard's foe Requiem. I feel that was like every static that I followed. I think maybe Limit Break Radio, if that can even be considered a static, had Warrior and Paladin. But I'm pretty sure that was just because one of the hosts, I think it was Nika or something, main Paladin. And I'm worried that might happen again. Or at least get worse. Again, casual. I don't know nor care what y'all tryhards are up to. I'm trying my best to enjoy the game, and a part of that is playing whatever the hell I feel like playing that day. Unless it's sub 60, then no red mage, because you don't get rest until 64 or something, so you're kinda useless before that. And I really don't think spec and talent trees is a good idea. I could obviously be wrong. Not gonna lie, I've had some ideas for our characters getting a tad sick of being everyone's fucking errand boy. You know, I had a choice between staying light or going dark. Or at least darker. But that would just result in like some minor graphical changes and new names for attacks. Maybe minor changes to the story. You know, where people are a little bit more reluctant to ask you for help. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say, which I don't feel like I should have to say. Don't set your expectations too high with this developer. They have proven time and time again that they are absolutely horrified of doing anything massive. They've always been. And I'm so sick of talking people off bridges. Let me jump for once. Stop dreaming up all these massive changes, because it's not gonna happen. I haven't played since the newest patch. And like, if you look at the patch notes for 7.4, I believe, the gunbreaker thing yeah, that's about as far as I think they're willing to go in like changing anything.